What up, y'all? It's your boy Martin, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where your boy speaks the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me good God Almighty. Good morning to y'all. How's everyone doing this morning? Hope you guys are blessed. And let me just say something. You guys are blessed. Count your blessings and your fears will starve to death. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all. So if you're new to the channel, if this is the first time that you stop by, could I just say welcome to my channel and thank you for stopping by. Thank you for taking time to hit that click button and to watch the video. I hope you watch the whole video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We have a lot of fun here. We keep it boxing. We leave all the other propaganda out of here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that comment down low, they have good discussions. And for the most part, I don't see no hate being thrown, which I love. This is like a safe zone for boxing fans, okay? Casual fans, you guys are welcome too, but let's keep it boxing, right? If you've been supporting the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you guys. My channel is super small. So to have those people, and I see you guys, I see a lot of you guys in the comments. A lot of you guys are the same guys coming back. You know who you are. You are appreciated. You guys are all appreciated. All right. So let's get into this, man. So yesterday, man, was obviously the first press conference between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, but there was a lot more going on than just the press conference for these, two fighters that are going to fight Cinco de Mayo weekend. There was a lot more going on. A lot of the interesting parts about this was the interviews and the questions being asked, which inspired me to jump into a different realm. Okay, so I'm about to jump into a different realm and I'm going to try to see stuff and sound like these other commentators, a lot of these people that are out there and the stuff that they say about this fight, that they say about Canelo, that they say about everything in the world of boxing. So I'm about to jump into that realm now. Here we go. So first of all, breaking news, okay? David Benavidez jumped to 175 to avoid the likes of Diego Pacheco, Mr. 6'4", 20 wins, 17 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Guess where he fights at? Super middleweight, 168 pounds, okay? David also jumped to 175 to avoid the likes of David Morrel, who is maybe 10 fights in, 7 KOs. Killer. It is coming out now that David jumped to 175 to avoid these two fighters, okay? Now, because David moved to 175 to avoid these guys at 168, forever his resume is tarnished. I don't care what he does from here on out. I don't care what he's done before. Because he avoided those two fighters, and Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, he jumped to 175 to avoid Edgar Berlanga because guess what? All three of those guys that I mentioned, Edgar Berlanga, Diego Pacheco, and David Morrel, all of those guys have something to offer David. So with David moving to 175, it's clear he's avoiding the big names at 168. He jumped to 175 to fight a dude that a lot of us aren't even familiar with, who's been out of the ring, coming out of retirement, I think. He jumped to that weight class to avoid them. So David's legacy is forever tarnished. He's finished. He avoided the top names at 168. Don't I sound silly? I'll call myself out. Don't I sound damn near ridiculous? Not damn near ridiculous. I sound ridiculous. But damn, talking like that, I should land the spot where Andre Ward is sitting. And damn, Andre Ward is my favorite fighter ever. I can't. We got to keep it truthful, yo. So definitely I'm taking Tim Bradley's spot wherever he's at. Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, I'm taking their show on YouTube. I'm qualified now by my logic, right? I sound like them, right? Now, by no means am I right now, me saying this, am I taking a shot at David Benavidez? Because guess what? David Benavidez got really loud for a little bit, him and his team, about the Canelo fight and all that. But you know what? That's already done. That's history. I have not heard them talk anymore. Let's not hold that against them anymore. That's already in the past, whatever. David Benavidez is doing other things. He's training in Miami. He's promoting car shows. He's training for his up-and-coming fight. It looks as if David right now is focused on following his career at 175. God bless him. I pray nothing but the best for David and his team. I hope that he does big things in that weight class and going further in his career. This is not taking a shot at David Benavidez by any means, okay? David Benavidez is a professional boxer. He hops inside that ring. I don't. He trains leading up to a fight. I don't. He knows about that life. I don't. I simply watch the sport, read what people say, and I deliver content to you guys, okay? So I don't want no one to think that I'm taking shots at David Benavidez. This is strictly to all the, the Andre Wards, the Tim Bradleys, the Paulie Malignagis, the Stephen A. Smiths, all these guys, all these other boxers that say silly stuff like Canelo fighting Munguia and not choosing to fight David Benavidez this time around taints his legacy. It's going to affect his resume forever. So by that same logic, one could come out and easily say that David jumped to 175 to avoid Diego Pacheco, who's, again, 20-0, 17 KOs, a little bit taller than Benavidez, who happens to fight at 168. Okay? David Morrel. Okay? But think about what I'm saying right here. Okay, Diego Pacheco is a little bit more even playing field because Diego Pacheco is, he got 20 fights in. But imagine for a reporter to come out and say that his legacy is tainted because he chose not to fight David Morrell at 168, but instead jumped to 175. What does that tell you guys? It's the same thing when they say that not fighting Benavidez this time around affects Canelo's legacy. That's how you got to look at it. You got to keep it real. You cannot let your emotions take over when you're thinking about things like this. When you're thinking about anything, really, you know what I'm saying? You let your emotions do the thinking for you, it's just not going to sound right. You're just simply going to sound bitter, okay? And again, I've said it over and over. I get the disappointment in Canelo not fighting David this time around. I totally understand it. And let me just say, Canelo saying that he would need $150 million or $200 million to fight David Benavidez. Canelo knows he's not going to get that kind of money to fight Benavidez. He's just talking trash. It's what Canelo's doing. He's almost trolling at that point, right? But that's exactly how it sounds when these commentators come out and say stuff like that. In other words, it's not coming from a place of actually looking at the two fighters' resume, what they bring to the table, how they could uplift each other. No, they're not looking at it like that. They're just finding any way to take a shot at Canelo, right? And now look at along the line of all these people. Marquez, Andre Ward, Tim Bradley, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, all former fighters. All of them are former fighters. And guess what? None of those fighters I just mentioned could carry their own pay-per-view. Not one of them. Marquez was never the favorite in Mexico, even though he's from Mexico. He had a big following, but he wasn't their Chavez. He wasn't their Salvador Sanchez. He wasn't their Canelo. Never hit that milestone. He never hit it. I don't know why. Marquez was a great fighter. I don't know why he didn't hit that milestone, but he did not. Okay? He was never a draw on his own. Andre Ward, same thing. In my opinion, Andre is one of the all-time greats. That's just my opinion, right? I love Andre Ward. He's my favorite all-time fighter. I've said it repeatedly on my channel. But the reality is, Andre Ward could never hold a pay-per-view on his own. Never. He needed a big name, you know what I'm saying, in order to have a pay-per-view fight. He did not have the backing of the American public or of any fan base that he thought he deserved. And I'll be real. Actual boxing fans should have supported Andre Ward. Because, he was a good fighter. He carried himself well. It's until recent that he's talking crazy, and he justifies it somehow. But he never had that backing. Chris Algieri, next question. Tim Bradley. Again, Tim Bradley could never hold his old pay-per-view. He could never be an A-side and just fight anyone and make an event out of it. None of these dudes can. Paulie Malignaggi, again, he good boxer, pillow-fisted. His mouth is bigger than anything he ever did inside the ring. So the common thing is that it's jealousy. They can say whatever they want, but it's jealousy. Because if they're going to call out Canelo, and if you're going to look at resumes between active fighters, it's not even close. It's not even close, which raises the question, like I said on my last video. If you're going to talk smack, go ahead and talk your smack, but keep it consistent. Keep it consistent. At this point, you're just attacking one guy. But by their logic, they should also be talking about Benavidez, right? Why jump to 175 having the fight like Diego Pacheco right there? Having a fight like David Morrell right there. And this was my point. Let's say that David would have just, him and his team would have just not been done all that talking and pursued a Diego Pacheco fight and pursued a David Morrell fight, pursued all these other fights. David Morrell was very vocal about fighting him. Why jump to 175 having those fights available to you at 168? Is anyone asking themselves that? I'm simply saying, y'all, if I'm David, and again, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I wipe out all those guys. I leave no choice, and I just keep my mouth shut, and I leave no choice but Canelo to have to fight me, right? Jaime Munguia even said, because he was questioned about this too, which is kind of sucks because it's Munguia's moment, and they're even asking him about why didn't Canelo fight Benavidez. And Munguia said, maybe I landed the fight because I'm respectful towards Canelo and I don't talk crap, while David Benavidez and his team, they talk bad about him all the time. Now, I haven't heard nothing recent from David and his camp, whatever. And I know a lot of people say that's old school. They amp up the fight their way. Listen, it's one thing to call a fighter out, and it's one thing to be making comment after comment after comment. We offered Canelo this much. We offered Canelo this much. Canelo is effing scared. It's one thing to go that route because at that point you're being disrespectful. You're being disrespectful. And how, in the eyes of Canelo and boxing fans, Canelo had to earn his way to the top. He had a following already. You know what I'm saying? But he had to earn his way to the top. He had to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. So in Canelo's eyes, you're not going to simply talk your way, disrespect him, everything that he's done, and think you're going to land a fight with him. This isn't middle school where, you know, the one guy's talking about another, you meet up and you squabble and you squash it. You're not going to land the fight that way. You know what I'm saying? So how does that sound? How does that sound, guys? Imagine something coming out, you know what I'm saying, and people pressing David on that issue. What would people say? I would sound ridiculous, and I would agree with someone if I just straight up came out and said what I just said publicly on one of these TV networks. David went to 175 to avoid David Morrell and Diego Pacheco. But it's okay when they aim it at Canelo, which I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's clearly to see who's on top. And again, y'all, I make a lot of these videos because these are the issues that bother me, right? And not only in sports, but just in general. Keep it consistent, speak the truth, stop being so biased, and just kick it real. You know, if you want a pay-per-view star, whatever. Be happy for the next guy that is. You know what I'm saying? Be happy for there may be a dude that starts a boxing channel tomorrow, and he might get up to 20,000 subscribers and surpass me and leave me in the dust. Am I going to talk bad about this dude, or am I going to say, dog, good for you, my man. However you did it, pat yourself on the back. However you did it, I'll pat you on the back. Good job. I'll be happy for him, right? Not try to go pick and choose and pick at the guy and say, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of that. No. That stuff really bothers me if you can't tell already. You know what I'm saying? So, again, this is not a shot at Benavidez. This is not a shot at David Benavidez's team at all, okay? I personally don't think that Benavidez jumped to 175 to avoid Morrel and to avoid Pacheco. I don't think that. But it's very clear that they had nothing to offer him. Make sense? I think it does. So, y'all, share these videos, y'all. Let's get this out there. Let's put this out there, man, because guess what? If I'm going to upset somebody with the truth, I'm sorry, man. It's the Truth and Absolute channel. We only kick the truth here. You know what I'm saying? So drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, man. And again, subscribe if you're not already. Hit that like button. You guys are making this channel go round and round. I'm excited, man. And again, man, I count all y'all as part of this channel. So y'all enjoy your day. Much love to you. God bless. And remember, the truth shall set you free. Peace.